Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Entrepreneur Talks podcast. This is our season 2, run by Women Flix. My name is Yola Bastos. Follow us on social media by Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You will be able, by these platforms, listen, share, and like our podcast sessions. So, don't forget, follow us on social media. And if you want, you also can follow us on Spotify or iTunes or Anchor. You have plenty of choices, or you can choose all. So, I just want to say have fun, because it's new stories, new season, new inspirations. Stay tuned, and I speak with you later. Bye. My guest for today's podcast is Cece Heart. Cece Heart is a writer and writes about everything from her life to travel experience to inspirational self-help blogs. She is an energetic, intuitive, and has the passion for the health and wellness, and pull from the effective strategies to fill your life with love and inner bliss. Cece Heart is the Wellness Advisor and Partnerships Coordinator for a very dynamic and environmental tech company that is rewarding users for using the app and saving the planet. Let's welcome Cece Heart. Hello, Cece Heart. Welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Yola. Thank you so much for having me today. It's great to be here.
You're welcome, my dear. So I'm going to start straightforward with this question. What inspires you on the first place?
Well, you know what? Inspiration inspires me.
Awesome.
I think that when we're inspired, we can spread that out into so many different ways. And so everything that I do comes back to what inspires me. And that's like the burning in my heart that feels like this is something that I'm meant to be doing, that feels happy and healthy and joyous to share. So that's kind of like my compass.
Your inspiration comes from amazing. So tell me, can you explain to my listeners to what exactly do you do?
Sure. I mean, I do a lot of things. I always say that I have my hands in a bunch of different cookie jars. I love cookies. So first, one thing that I do is I'm a plant-based chef and consultant. So I work with people to create specialized meal plans for them. Sometimes I work with restaurants to create menu items for them, or if they're trying to bring in more plant-based or gluten-free or sugar-free options, I'll work with them. I think that food is really paramount to our health, and so I put a lot of my time and energy into learning everything I could about that to heal through food. So that's one thing that I do. Another thing is that I am a health and wellness coordinator for a tech company called Ceces. And basically my role is to make sure that everybody is happy and healthy and thriving. So I get to inspire them and figure out if there's a block that they're having, or maybe there might be some mediation that needs to happen between some members of the team, and I get to really, on a personal level, figure out what they need to thrive and then make that happen for them.
Amazing. Listen, you were saying you are plant-based. So is that plant-based food is like I'm sure it's organic, but is no there is meat or there is no meat when it comes to a plant-based nutrition. Do you eat any meat or no or fish?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's confusing for a lot of people. So plant-based means that there's no animal products.
Okay.
Some people that use the term plant-based might consume honey, but generally speaking, there's no animal products.
Wow, that must be very hard to create a menu, because you said you were a chef of that kind of nutrition, of that kind of food, and I believe must be hard. I wish I can. Can you describe me just a small example of a recipe, like a simple recipe? Let's say a shake of. If you want to do a breakfast on plant-based food, how do I do that?
Okay. Well, first of all, I thought it was going to be very hard too. I always want to tell people that I didn't think it was going to be easy getting here either. And I did a lot of research because my diet before was primarily meat-based. So most of what I ate was meat and cheese, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of research, but it's actually not as hard as you think it is, because you figure out what to replace meat with, and meat is just seasoned anyway. So if you just season something else, you get the same taste that you might miss. So I don't actually make that many shakes.
Okay.
But when I do, I use a lot of dark leafy greens. So that's like the stuff that people might think is gross, like kale or spinach, but you can make them delicious by adding plant-based milk. I really like cashew milk and coconut milk. And it just, to sweeten it up, you can use bananas or dates. And one thing to make a green juice taste a little bit better is you can add chocolate into it. So it kind of depends on what you want, but it's really important to get those dark leafy greens in, and masking them, like hiding them in a shake, is a really good way to do that.
Wow. So thank you so much for this advice. And I didn't have an idea that banana, any fruit would be plant-based. I could call them plant-based. Because the other day, actually, I was talking with a friend and she said, oh, I'm having a plant-based shake this morning. I'm like, what she's talking about? How she did it? I just let her talk, but then I had to move to do another thing and I didn't ask her. And now you came up and I'm like, wow, let me ask you. So you are the best person to answer me. But yeah, that's amazing. And oh wow, I didn't have idea that we can call this banana or other fruits that you just mentioned are plant-based, because actually they are from the seed, from the soil, correct? Is that the reason?
Yeah. So if it's a plant and not an animal, that's a pretty good way to figure out if it's plant-based or not. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was saying, so you're right. It's not that hard to find the plant-based food. Got it.
No, it's just training yourself to change meat for something else. For example, if you use ground beef or minced beef, you can trade that out for lentils, and it has a similar texture, and you just spice it in the same way, and oftentimes people won't even know the difference.
Oh wow. I'm so wow.
I have lots of tricks like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Cece, thank you so much for this. And let me ask you, you are the wellness advisor. You mentioned before you were talking, I heard you saying that you advise the tech company to the people. How do you inspire them to eat healthy or eat the recipes? How do you do? You serve them, you cook for them? I don't know, I don't have idea.
Well, our team is actually global, so it's rare that I'm in the same room with them. Sometimes we will have events where we're together, and in that case, then I make sure that all of the food is organic and healthy and plant-based. And of course, I inspire them and tell them about diet along the way. But normally speaking, if somebody's having a wellness issue or if they're sick, that's when I would give them nutrition and dietary advice if they want it. They don't have to take it. It's up to them. But at that point, I would reach out to them and offer them some different recipes that might be specific to whatever illness or problem that they're having.
Okay, that's very interesting. So you mentioned that your company is a global. How many around the world? Like how many? Do you run like, I don't know, you work for a restaurant company, and do you have places based in some couple of cities, or is just cooking for companies? How that works?
Well, there's two different businesses that I run. So one is my own personal health and wellness consulting, which is where I would work with different people all over the world, or restaurants, whoever wants to change their diet or their menu or something like that. But as far as the company that we're speaking about, Ceces, it's actually an app. So we have about 40 full-time members that are working on building the app.
Great. Okay.
But it's actually more of a movement anyway. So anybody can join the app and be part of the community, and so it's really beautiful in that way with everybody connecting. But there's about 40 people that are working on actually building the software, the tech.
Oh, marvelous. So, and on that, what can we find that on the app? Is pictures there? Is the recipes? Can you give us an idea?
Yeah, the app it's really cool because it has a whole bunch of different areas that you can connect. So one of them is a marketplace, and that means that different businesses and organizations and even people, like for example me, I could have a profile on there that says that I do restaurant consulting and meal plans in the marketplace. But you can also have a personal profile. So it maybe be like if you had a Facebook profile or a LinkedIn profile, and also if you had an Etsy or Amazon account where you're selling something. So you can buy and sell and interact that way. And there's also a currency. So you have a banking kind of like, what do they use in Europe? Revolut or Venmo or PayPal, the money transferring app. So we have a built-in money transferring app right into the app. So there's a lot going on there, but the idea is to bring people together that care about the environment, that want to make a change for the planet. Fantastic. And give them the tools to really make that happen and be able to connect people together so they can work on things and make things happen faster.
That's amazing. I believe you must have a lot of people there on the app, right?
Oh, it's growing so much, especially now with people being in quarantine and wanting a change for the environment and the health of the planet.
That's amazing, because I'm going to be one of the persons that will join you very soon.
We would love to have you. We just launched it publicly last week, so it's only just come out. We pushed it forward faster because of the situation that the world is in right now. So we want to give people the tools to connect with each other. So right now, if you need an invite to download the app, so I can give you an invite, and I can give you an invite to give to your listeners too, so we can get everybody all set up.
I would appreciate that. I will place in the description of the podcast under your own story, and that would be great, because I will wait for that today. Yeah.
Awesome.
And how do you lift spirits, activating charge passion on others? This is another side.
So that one's a little bit more difficult to explain. For me, I can feel if somebody is not saying something that they emotionally feel. And so that can relate to all areas of my life. If I'm in the same room with somebody, then I know that they're feeling a certain way, and I will just speak to them. I have a lot of different techniques and modalities that I've learned all around the world to try to activate people to their full potential. But in the organization in Ceces, if I notice that somebody is maybe not showing up happy, if they're tired a lot, or if they're not maybe getting the things done that they said they would, then I will try to figure out exactly what they need. And people are inspired when they feel passionate and when they feel excited to be doing something. And so I always try to figure out what makes people happy, and when we can get to the root of that, then it can inspire them to want to do whatever it is that they're doing.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you. And that takes you. So I'm just thinking about the process. When you find someone in the same room, let's say, that you feel that you can feel that something is different in that person, or they're not happy, or they're not showing the same way like the day before. But how do you activate these passions or lift spirits? It takes you a couple of minutes, or you do sessions, or how that works?
Everybody is different, so it will always depend. And I don't have a plan that a structure that I follow through with every time, because I never know exactly how long it's going to take somebody. Sometimes people are not very willing to open up, and it might take longer. And sometimes people, they will respond immediately, and it's a lot faster. So one thing that always helps is getting them to address their food issues, because food always has emotional and physical effects. So I generally start there. So if I notice that they're feeling a little bit sad or tired, I will ask them about what they ate and go from there. Yeah.
It's all about, so basically, it's like you said on your description that you sent me, and it will be described on my podcast. Let food be Thai medicine.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Got it. Now
that's Socrates, and that is a famous quote, and it really brings up the importance of the fact that what we put in our bodies has effects not only just on our physical body, but also our emotional body, and we don't always realize that. So
totally.
So if you're eating a bunch of food that is processed and sits in boxes and packaging for a long time, it doesn't have any vitality or natural energy anymore, and so it doesn't give you that energy. But when you eat something that's fresh and from the earth, it gives you direct energy that's been created for you. So there's a huge difference, and you can really improve your life, not just your physical health, but also your energy. Yeah, your inner, exactly.
Yes, I love this, because we live in a world that is full of boxes. Everything produced in I don't know how many days before, and I always look and I don't do that myself. I don't eat food in boxes like made for someone, I don't know for how long, but I see that the world in general is so many people doing this, and it's so bad, unfortunately. But the question I do to sometimes to myself, to my mind, I say, why people knows that it's no good, but it's still, these companies, they still running, they still selling, they still making money through this. Why is no one in the world that can stop this?
Well, there's different reasons for that. One is that it's convenient, and many people don't feel that they have the time to feed themselves otherwise, and so they would prefer just to grab a packaged food that is easy for them. than to try to make something. And I always try to give people recipes that are very easy for them so that they don't have to resort to that. But the other thing, and probably the most important thing, is that there's a lot of chemicals inside of those boxes and in packages that are addictive, and they are designed to keep consumers buying them to make the companies money. And that's why people keep on going and buying those products. And you can see, if you look on the back of your favorite snacks, most of those words they look like a chemical ingredient. You would never know what they are, but they trigger addiction inside of us, and so we want to keep eating them. And that's where the big problem is.
Yes, totally. So thank you, Cece. This was amazing. Oh, we're coming to the end, by the way. But thank you so much for this opportunity of learning a lot of plant-based food. And I'm looking forward to receive your link for the app, and I will share with my listeners. I'm sure you're going to have more clients or more people join you on the app very soon. And just one more thing, tell me how people can connect with you or find more information about your services.
Okay, well, so we will definitely give out an invite. It's free to join, by the way, so everybody knows. And for me, if you want to connect with me, my website is ceceheart.com, but I'm sure we can link it in. And I will also leave my recipe blog. So I don't put that out that publicly because I use it on my Instagram and stuff, but we'll put the link to the recipe blog in case anybody is excited to learn about some different plant-based meals they can make.
Fantastic. And I'm sure I'm going to speak with you again. And I want to say once again, thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to share your journey and to learn about food.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here, and I'm glad that I could share a little bit with you.
Great. God bless you, and I speak with you soon again for sure. Take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the end of our session, and I just want to say thank you so much for being with us. I hope that you enjoy. And if you would like to listen again, make sure you follow us on social media. Each session will be always on our pages. And also on our profile, you will get access to a link which will take you to Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, or other platforms where you can listen podcast sessions. Thank you once again, and I speak with you very soon. I see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.